Hey there, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Mark Weiner, joined by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride Wrestling Program, Dennis Papadatos. Coach, how's it going?
Going good. Today's a good day.
All right, well, I'm sorry to damper the mood a little bit, but you lost to Rutgers 33-6. What are your opening thoughts on that one?
Did you watch my interview? I was infuriated, and I still am infuriated, but in a good way. As I told people, it's frustrating when I didn't think there was a lack of effort. And so when you don't have a lack of effort and you still get your butt kicked like that by a good team, but not a team they're not the number one team in the country. In fact, the newest rankings came out, they're not even ranked in the top 25. So for the fact that they beat us like that and there wasn't a lack of effort, there's other things that need to be addressed, and I keep going back to losing small situations and getting out tough, and it happened again repeatedly, and we got out tough in small situations, and they blew matches wide open. Like both their pins, it wasn't like they were just demolishing our guy and then pinned them. They were 0-0 matches, and all of a sudden we were pinned both times. You know what I mean? Where we were being combative, but again, they won the one situation that put us on our back that pinned us. So frustrating. A lot of work needs to be done, and it's more about mindset and belief more than technique.
Jamel Hudson had a very tough challenge at the 141 this week. How do you think he fared?
He blew the match. I mean, he out-wrestled him. Should have won the match. He didn't get tired. He just didn't know what happened. At the end, the kid poured it on, got a takedown. He kind of panicked. And that kid was a superstar in high school. He was the number one overall recruit. He's had good wins. He's going to probably continue to have good wins, and he believed he was going to win, and all that kid did is not give up believing that he could win. Even though he was out-wrestled for 6 minutes and 20 seconds, he just kept himself there, kept himself in the game, and then found an opportunity, and he executed it, and we have to do a better job of closing out matches. We closed out that match, not only does that kid not win, he doesn't really score an earned point on us, but he found a way to get it done, and that's a good example to Jamel that he has to find a way to get it done as well.
Even though you only had 2 decisions in the match, what positives can you take? Who wrestled well?
Maverick wrestled well, but that other kid found a way to win. Jamel wrestled well, and the other kid found a way to win. Positive is Cody winning reinforces my fact, and also even Mike, even though I felt like Mike did more again. Cody and Mike, Cody more so, wrestled for the entire 7 minutes. There was constant effort. There was constant trying of improvement. There was no mental lapses. He put forward a consistent effort for 7 minutes, and those are the 2 guys that won. So the other guys had a 1 second or 2 second or 10-second mental lapse, and it either cost them the match or it cost them, they got thrown to their back and pinned because of those mental lapses. Cody never had a mental lapse, and he won. So the fact that Cody did that just reinforces the things I keep saying to them every day. You've got to be consistent. You can't have a 1 second mental lapse, because a good guy's going to put you on your back and pin you in that 1 second mental lapse. And we saw 2 examples of it at 65 and 74, and we saw an example of it in our positive of Cody never having the mental lapse and taking home the win.
Travis Pissarro and Mike Oxley are your 2 freshmen. How do you think they've handled the adjustment to college so far?
Mike's had a tall order. Mike's wrestled good kids. He wasn't ready to be put in the lineup, and he's in the lineup. Travis is more ready than Mike. Travis had a bad day against Rutgers. It was really the first bad day I've seen him in practice, in a match. We got to do a better job. I don't know where that stems from. That kid that he wrestled from Rutgers is a Suffolk County kid. He's a former state champ. So maybe when Travis was a 9th grader, that kid won state tournament. Maybe Travis thought he, was more than he could handle, because at that time he thought he was a big deal. So I don't know if that happened, but the way it looked out there, it looked like it had something to do with it. So they're faring well. They're taking their lumps. So as long as you adjust from taking your lumps, you're going to be okay. If you don't adjust, you're going to keep taking a lot more lumps.
The upper weight classes were a problem for this program last year before you got here. Well, how do you think they fared this season?
They're all in 12, I think, aren't they? Besides heavyweight, so they're not faring well. Francofani could do much better than he's doing. Turdick as well. Jermaine as well. Oxley's battling. Jermaine's had some tough competition, but not to put the Rutgers opponent down, but this guy wasn't the same level as the other competition that he wrestled so far, and we had the same results. So that's an issue. They're not faring as well as they should be, and they need to make adjustments. They need to get better, and we're going to continue to do the work to get them there.
You always mention the tough non-conference you have this season. You took on Rutgers, you can take on Missouri in about a week or so. What are you looking from your squad in this tough non-conference?
I'm looking for being able to handle adversity. I'm looking for how tough you are. Missouri is the best team we're going to face so far. So they're better than Lehigh. They're better than Rutgers. No offense to those two programs. Missouri is a top 4 team in the country right now. They have no holes. They have some superstars. Jamel's going to have another tough match. I'm looking to see how you want to compete against these guys that are going to be at the national tournament. I mean, you know, we have to, if we want to be All-Americans and national champs, which is our goal, we have to beat these guys because these are the guys we're going to have to wrestle in order to do it. So I'm looking for a little more consistency. I'm looking for a little more an idea of where you're at, so we can either make adjustments or you can build confidence like, hey, I'm right there, and I can kind of get over the hump.
Up next this week, the New York State Collegiate Championships. What do you expect from that?
I expect to have a great showing. I expect to you know, to do our business, go in and bring home a lot of hardware. This is pretty good because there is some lower end competition and then some higher end competition. So it's finally, it's probably the weakest field that we've seen so far for us in the season, especially if Cornell traditionally doesn't put all their starters in, because Cornell's ranked number 2 in the country right now. But they wrestle Oklahoma Saturday night. So my gut is that they won't have many of their starters wrestling Sunday in the tournament, even though they're hosting it. They're usually so deep that their second string team still finds a way to win the tournament. But their second string team is good. So it'll be a good test of, we'll see how we do when we wrestle some lesser opponents. Do we dominate them like Rutgers dominated us? Or are we going to let them hold in the match and barely beat them? And how are we going to do when we go against the Armies and the Columbias and the Binghamtons and the Cornells, who are solid Division I teams that will have some athletes, you know, and we'll be in competitive matches again. How are we going to fare well? It gives us a whole gambit of lesser competition to, I mean, the number 1 kid in the country who wrestles for Cornell as well. So you'll see the whole slew. So it's probably the best snapshot of where we're at as a team this weekend, more so than what we've seen so far.
Head coach of the Hofstra Pride Wrestling Program, Dennis Papadatos, thanks so much for the time.
You're welcome.
I'm Mark Weiner. This has been the WB Mason Coaches Report. Tune in each and every week right here on GoHofstra.com.